She swears on her life, if I take her back, there'll be no spouse in the history of humanity more grateful, more loyal, and honest than her. She suggests total access to her social media, that I already have, and she will always answer my calls no matter what the situation, and to never have friends that I don't approve. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, going to go over part 3 to the very popular story, which is titled, Man Outsmarts Cheating Wife by Recording Her Getting Salami and Sending It To. And guys, I honestly didn't expect to be doing part 3 anytime soon, maybe not for at least a week. Then this morning, a whole bunch of you guys sent me emails letting me know that this guy posted an update. So big shout out to all you guys that sent me the email. It must have been 7 of you guys by the time I left the house to go film all these videos. So thank you. But anyhow, guys, this story is definitely, it's a gift that keeps on giving. I'm glad this guy's doing better, but his updates definitely have kept many of you guys quite entertained and learned a lot of things about the gals that we already know about. And as a quick recap before I get into this is the guy who married 11 years. He and his wife, he thought he had a good thing going. They're both overweight for the entire duration of their marriage relationship. He got a health scare. Doctor told him to lose some weight. You're going to be dead soon. He and his wife went on a diet, worked out, lost a bunch of weight. He's feeling good. She's feeling better. She starts getting a lot of attention from dudes, particularly the personal trainer at the gym. And long story short, he started noticing very suspicious red flags and wasn't happy with it and said, basically, we're changing gyms. She got pissed off. You don't trust me, blah, blah, blah. Well, it turns out he had good reason, because she was cheating on him with the trainer. And this went on for a long time. When he found out, talked to his family, talked to an attorney, and eventually made a plan to catch him red-handed. Or in that case, her ass being red-slapped. Lures them to the house, has them there, has his camera ready, and records them doing the dirty deed on the bed, all that. Throws both of them out, throws him out butt naked. He even struck the guy because the guy got all attitude with him. And led to part 2. Essentially, he was going to take action to the trader, spoke to the owner of the gym, one of his buddies, all that, and working things out to get his ass fired, as well as the behind-the-scenes things going on there. That's part 2. And part 3, this is going to focus more on his wife. All the things that were going on behind the scenes, supposedly, during this whole thing with his wife, and how now, as you can probably imagine, when she is in deep trouble, now she wants him back. Big shocker. But this guy, well, you're going to see he ain't having it. And you're also going to see there's more going on behind the scenes with the ex-wife. And or soon-to-be ex-wife. And when you see what it is, it's not going to surprise you in the least. And I'm not going to tell you now. I'm going to let you guys discover this in real time. And it won't surprise you at all. And definitely will match up with so many stories which I cover on this channel. So, further ado, part 3. He says, update number 2, Jane sends me a letter explaining what led to her cheating. He says, hi again. I didn't expect to update so soon, but something important has happened. I'd like to share something that my therapist told me. He says, do you remember I started therapy because Jane suggested I'm having trust issues? Turns out I don't have any at all. I'm one step to becoming a very gullible person. But the therapist noticed I have a lot of insecurities due to my obesity. Since I remember, I was a chubby, nerdy guy at school. Never the boyfriend, always the best friend. I had my first girlfriend at 18, and she dumped me a week later for a better-looking guy. I went to an engineering high school, so ladies were few. My next relationship was in my 20s with a very toxic girl who blamed me for everything, even for the rain. She did a really good job making me feel guilty for anything that pops in her mind. Later I started working because my family had money problems, and I didn't have another relationship until I met Jane at university. Okay, understandable, he's insecure, overweight, girls don't like him, the girls that he did have treat him like shit. That can do damage to a guy. But a guy can always move past that, okay? We can all have bad childhoods, some worse than others, but you can't let that shit to happen. That's the past, okay? Weak-ass guys let their past determine their future. You can make changes, but you gotta be willing to do that and have the strength to go into uncharted territory, go out of your comfort zone to make a change, but you can. Okay, there's a little pep talk real quick. He says here, the previous session to the last one with my therapist, we discussed my feelings about not having kids. She has helped me to get my priorities in order. Number one, me, and everything that covers myself like physical, health, gym, eating well. Intelligence, studying, learning, mental challenges. And soul, beliefs, moral, and ethics. Number two, people who live with me. Jane. Number three, family and friends. Number four, work. Number five, leisure and entertainment. The last session was about Jane. The therapist asked about my plans. I told her I will divorce Jane. She told me it's normal I'm in such distress because my priority number two is crumbling. I will have to pass for similar stages of grieving death: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. I had to Google them because I forgot them. I'm in the bargaining stage because I'm thinking a lot about the what ifs. What if she really is remorseful? What if we're the golden couple who will survive an infidelity? But the reality is I will never trust her ever again. It will kill me knowing she's at home doing God knows what while I'm at work. Torture for me. Depression is a dangerous stage in my case because it can lead me to gain more weight again. I should stick to the gym and watch closely my diet. Hopefully this helps people who are grieving. Now for the update. Yes, it's good he's going to therapy because if that can help him, cool. No problem. I know there's a lot of jokes about Americans all being in therapy, and it is certainly a common thing. But if it really helps somebody that's messed up from going down a downward spiral, even worse, okay, so be it. Cool. And I wish him the best. But yes, keep with the gym, keep eating well. Don't let what she did to this guy, let him go down the tubes and gain a whole bunch of weight all over again and all that. That's the last thing, because then she wins. He wins by moving on and being successful, losing that weight, looking even better, feeling good about himself, moving up in the world. That is the best revenge. Okay, now we're going to get to the good stuff. He says, I've been very busy. I applied for a promotion at work. It could have taken a long time, but it demands a lot of traveling. I feel it will help me to heal to be away. Also, I've been looking for a new place to live, and I found one small apartment perfect for me. I paid 3 months in advance rent, and I'll move in as soon as possible. Good. Get out of that house where all the memories are, and you can rent that house that you have, your condo, make some money. I haven't seen Jane since D-Day or Baldy since that Monday when I'm sure he was fired. On the bright side, one of my neighbors, a lady in her 50s, met me in the condo elevator. She told me she hasn't seen Jane lately. I told her we're slipping apart, and then she happens to remember she's having dinner and her single niece is coming for a few days, and I'm invited. It took me by surprise. Looks like I'm in the market once again. Hey, get a free meal. But you are in no position to be meeting and dating chicks at this point. You got a lot of work to do on yourself before you even consider that. My attorney told me Jane was going to be served last Friday, but we had some festivities in my country, so she was served last Sunday morning at my in-laws' home. Served her Sunday morning, that's hilarious. The following Monday, somebody, Jane I guess, slid a letter under my door. 3 sheets back and front from Jane, mainly explaining about what led to her to cheat. Now, listen to all this. Now we're getting to the part where you're going to see some of her reasons behind the cheating. It will not surprise you in the least. And let's remember the key word, accountability. Here we'll introduce the second villainess in the story, a coworker we'll call Flirty. I met her sometimes at Jane's work events, like Christmas or anniversary celebrations. She's really thin, almost skinny, and usually wears a lot of makeup. And she thinks every man wants to sleep with her. One time she told Jane I was staring at her. I did once because I could see her ribs and I thought she was unhealthily thin. Yeah. Nobody, it's not very attractive in my opinion, seeing women so skinny that you can see their freaking rib cage. I mean, that's disgusting. That's like some late 90s Victoria's Secret models. Now it's the complete opposite side of the pendulum. Now the Victoria's Secret models, you've seen some of them, are these large and in charge gals. That's equally, ugh. Anyway, according to Jane's letter, when she lost weight, Flirty approached her because she wanted them to be best friends since they are the two hotties at work. That's when the brainwashing started. Flirty made her think she deserves a better man. She's entitled to. She told her I was a pathetic man that will try to own her now that she's hot. When the incident with the Smith machine happened, Flirty said, Jane, see, didn't I tell you? He wants to be your owner more than your husband. Jane bought it, and due to Fleury's manipulation, she was resentful to me for months. While we attended the gym at different times, Jane met with Baldy accidentally at the mall, and he approached her. She confessed that she had a crush for a guy similar to Baldy before I met her. She never told me that before. They went for a bite to eat, and they both flirted. Jane showed Flirty Baldy's picture from Facebook, and she told her she'll be a dumb bitch if she didn't F him. Besides, her pathetic husband, me, doesn't compare with that Greek god. So, quick break. The female coworker. The female coworker who is a carousel rider, who thinks she's a 10 but probably is barely a 7. And guess what? She's blaming the coworker for manipulating her and putting the idea in her head that her husband's the bad guy and she deserves so much better and he's trying to control you and you should go F the trainer. Guess what? Misery loves company, because last time I've known some carousel riders in my life, and let me tell you guys, some of these carousel riders, when they get to their 30s, it gets to the point that it's outright pathetic how they are. Because it's like, okay, you're not 22 anymore. You're 35, and you're still doing this. And these types, in my opinion, are not happy. These are the type that go to bars and clubs. They always go home with a dude. They get trashed, and they always go. They tap on Tinder, find some dude while they're trashed, and go home with them. They've seen more sausage than a freaking hot dog factory. Those types. You think they're happy? No. And they want to bring somebody else in on their misery, because misery loves company. So blame it on their friend. Imagine that. This is why I tell guys all the time, pay attention to who your girl hangs out with. But at the end of the day, his wife, soon-to-be ex, made a choice, and it's her fault. Anyway, she hooked up with the trainer. She had the opportunity, she was eager to, and so she did. Baldy took her to his house and then coincidentally is close to the mall where they ran into each other. So she does know that it's Frank's dad's home. Or she doesn't know, excuse me. All this happened 9 months ago. Flirty is a professional cheater. She told Jane how to cover her tracks, the work words code, to hide Baldy's contact information, and to hide her map tracking history. She even told her that changing her phone password is stupid because I'll immediately suspect. So Flirty, that's her code name, professional cheater, professional carousel rider. What a great gal to have as your wife's BFF. Misery loves company. Jane noticed Baldy hated when she talked about me, and as punishment he made hickeys on her body. Now I remember she started using pajamas to sleep because it was cold. He used to trash me, but she never played along. Meanwhile, Flirty used to tell her that she was entitled to this romance and I deserved being cheated on because I was a beta. Entitled to this romance? During those months, she says she liked the feeling of danger and the thrill, and the SCX with Baldy was good. But it also hurt her seeing me struggle, trying to be a better husband and knowing she was the reason of my pain. Bullshit. She doesn't give a shit. She's only saying this now because she's desperate and knows this guy means business in divorcing her. I don't buy that she felt bad for a second. She said it was easier to ignore me and continue with the pleasure that Baldy gave her. D-Day arrives. I completely blindsided her. She thought I was clueless. I'm going to write this part just like she wrote it. And this is his ex saying this. I was in shock, and I covered myself with a blanket by pure instinct. This is when he walked in on them hooking up. When I reacted, I saw you pushing and kicking Baldy out of the room and the house. When I heard you closing the door and coming back, I didn't know what to say. I've never seen you this angry before. Then you said, I've never hurt you, nor will I. That's true. In the years we've known each other, you've never hurt me, nor even when we found out that it's my fault that we can't have children. After that, she heard me crying in the spare room. She wanted to comfort me, but how could she? In the main door, we have a mirror to check ourselves before we go out. She looked at herself, but she couldn't bear the look. When she entered her car, she cried and told me, what have I done? Boo freaking who? You're a grown-ass woman, grown-ass adult, and you made that choice. Nobody feels bad for you. Baldy called her that night, but she blocked him. She arrived at the sister-in-law's house at about midnight. 2 hours later, after the drama, her house is about 40 minutes from mine. She was scared of telling her sister-in-law what happened. The sister-in-law what happened because she's older and she's a very strong character. So this is his sister-in-law, but this is his soon-to-be ex's real sister. The next day, she told Flirty what happened. Flirty told her she should be happy that she got rid of me. I'm going to copy this part too. This part's word for word. This is a breakdown of the conversation that his soon-to-be ex had with the girl at work. His wife said, "And then what?" Flirty said, "Babe, you are free. You can have you-know-what with Baldy or any other guy you want." His wife says, "And then?" Flirty says, "I don't follow you." Jane says, "What will happen when I'm tired of having sex with a bunch of guys?" Flirty then says, "Then you can decide which one to date seriously." Jane said, "And then what?" Flirty says, "I don't know, get married, I suppose." And Jane says, "But I already had a marriage." Flirty says, "But I was with the OP. He's a loser. I bet Baldy's 100 times better than him." Jane says, "No, that's not true. He gave me a good life." Flirty says, "Don't settle for so little. You can have a better man." I want to point out, after that little dialogue, that his wife, I'm pretty sure, is in her late 30s. So guess what? Her prime, way a long time ago, which she was fat back then. So this whole you can get any man thing, you gotta be shitting me. And the type of guys that they want, they're not gonna go for some late 30s, washed up, divorced, right? They're gonna get somebody younger or be on their own. Then they proceed to have a big fight in front of the coworkers, and she can't recall it well. But she remembers swearing and yelling a lot. Flirty told her that any guy hotter than me is better than me. I don't get what she has against me, but Jane realized what she destroyed. She was inconsolable, and her boss let her go home early. Of course, work is a place of business where you earn your paycheck. It's not for having personal dramas. So can you picture these two in the office, whatever they did, having this whole screaming fight about this whole thing, right? I'm like, you're both fired. Get the fuck out. It's ridiculous. The next day is when I showed the sister-in-law the video. Jane was babysitting the sister-in-law's twins. After I drove her home, the sister-in-law asked Jane to help her going to do some errands. Just the two of them. That was a lie. They parked at a park, and she demanded to know what was happening and in her head to cheat on me. Jane cried and told her, "I don't know." The sister-in-law confessed she was envious of our marriage. 11 years and not a huge fight. We both looked happy. She couldn't believe her little sister was capable of such a thing. Jane was there for the sister-in-law when her ex-husband left her for another woman. Jane asked her not to kick her out, but sister-in-law told her she can stay. After all, that house belongs to both of them, but she'll let her know she's very disappointed and she will side with me if I ever needed help. Jane understood. How about that? This girl's own sister said, "Hey, I'm going to side with your husband or soon-to-be ex when it boils down to it." That's surprising. Usually the gals stick with the girl no matter what she does. Next Sunday, Jane came to apologize, but I was not home. When she received my attorney's card, she called and my attorney confirmed that I had hired him. She knew I was really going to divorce her, so she went to her new home and wrote a confession and sent it to everybody we both know. I started receiving messages and phone calls the following week, but I don't want to read or answer. Now I fear that some of the direct messages and now I've read some of the DMs, and what she said, most of them wanted to comfort me. One of her cousins says it takes guts to confess, so I should give her a try. Smack to her cousin. Oh, whoopee. She confessed to everybody about what happened, so therefore this guy should let go the 9 months that she was hooking up with that other dude in very graphic ways I'm not going to mention here. Lying, cheating, making this guy feel awful. But that's okay, and he should just forgive her because she let everybody know what she did. Bullshit. The following week, she tried to distract herself with work, but it seems everybody knows she cheated. If you are unfaithful, in my country, people see you like an easy woman. So female coworkers don't talk to her, particularly flirty, and male coworkers are annoyingly friendly to her. I bet they are. She asked to be relocated, but it'll take months, so she quit her job the following Friday. She has a good amount of money in savings, and we have our finances separated, and since I was the big earner, I paid for almost everything. Now we know why she's desperate to get this guy back. She quit her job because she didn't like the environment with nothing else to back her up at that point. Her savings are being dwindling every single day. She made it clear this guy is the big breadwinner of the family. So if they split up, and it sounded like, I think from the other story, the other part 2, that, yeah, he'll have to pay, obviously, some alimony, but I don't think it's going to be that big because she was cheating, and in his country, cheating is taken seriously. Plus, he had proof. She's still going to be hurting. So now she's back. And she probably also realizes, oh shit, I'm a lot older. I'm not going to have guys lining up down the street to get into a relationship with me. Guys will be ready to hook up, but in terms of relationships, not happening. Now the waterworks comes on. Now we know why she's so eager to get back with him. Too late, honey. The next day, she was looking at me for her words, to beg me to take her back. She came here, but when I saw I wasn't home, she went to my parents, and my dad refused to speak to her. But my mom was sympathetic and told her she's sorry about all this, but her son, me, is really hurt and asked them not to talk about her anymore. Jane understood, but then went to my brother's house. He told her that that I am not here, and frankly, I don't want to talk to you, and closed the door in front of her face. Awesome. She came back to her new house very sad. All last week, she's been reflecting about her actions, and she's been really depressed, realizing how much damage she's done to our relationship, to her family, and mine. All this for meaningless pleasure coming from some douchebag that, in her words, believes vaccines are just a pharmacy scam and believes in astrology. He says, yes, Baldy is heavily tattooed, and he has a Taurus sign on his arm. So he's that guy, huh? The sister-in-law suggested that she goes to therapy. I don't blame her. If my brother were in the same situation, I'd be very disappointed, but I'd try to make him realize what is wrong with him. She finally went to therapy, and her therapist suggested writing me this letter and to come clean to me. So she says all written in the letter is true. Now listen to this. She swears on her life that if I take her back, there will be no spouse in the history of humanity more grateful, more loyal, and honest than her. She suggests total access to her social media, which I already have. She will always answer my calls no matter the situation, and I never have friends that I don't approve. I don't know about you guys, but this sounds very familiar. Call me crazy. You know why? Because probably the thousands of videos I've done between both channels, and even more that I've read, it's always the same thing. She gets caught after doing awful things, knows that she's up shit's creek without a paddle, now promises the world. I'll be the best wife ever, the most loyal, blah, 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 same story. And it's like, why'd you do this in the first place? Right? Well, here's the answer. Attention and validation and drama. All women love drama. I don't care what any of them say, they all love drama. Now, women can either get their little fix of drama from like those stupid reality shows, which aren't really reality, they're all staged, but that's a different conversation. Just watching shows and getting a little drama there, or on the opposite side of the spectrum, causing drama, being right in the drama, right here. There you go. That's why. There are more things about family and friends I don't think is important to share. Besides, it needs a lot of context. Finally, she pleads with me to meet her and let her apologize properly to my face. In her words, sorry doesn't start to describe what I'm feeling right now. She's hoping to see this guy in person, bawl her eyes out, and hoping that the way she perceives him, that he'll cave and take her back. If she does enough crying, enough begging, enough pleading, enough promises, that he'll take her back. And I sure as hell this guy does not do that. But we'll find out in no doubt future updates. He says, what do I think of this letter? The things I can confirm is that she hasn't contacted Baldy till that Monday, when he was fired and she confessed to family and friends. Aha! Personal trainer was fired. The rest can be partially true, and I'm sure it's all been sweetened. For example, she does not mention when she called me jealous and immature. She does not mention letting Baldy do her raw and let him finish inside her. Well, that's disgusting. She can give me all her passwords, but she lied to my face and gaslighted me for 9 months, according to her. And she was very good at it. Besides, I don't want to be her jailer. As I said before, I will never trust her again. Whenever I see her face, I'll also see Baldy's in front of her. I will not be her second opinion, nor will I be a doormat. I haven't replied yet, but I think I'll see her next weekend. So guys, that is the end of part 3. And you can tell here, this guy ain't over by any means. So when part 4 comes up, this guy will probably say update part 3 or some damn thing. If you guys see it before I do, please email it to me, and I'll definitely cover it as soon as I can. Because a bunch of you guys sent it this morning. Thank you. Because there are a lot of videos out there that I've done that have updates, and I can't possibly cover them all. So for you guys that like Reddit and all that, and you see updates and things I haven't gotten to yet, just let me know. Send me an email, send me the link, and I'll definitely cover it if it's still, if it was something from a year ago, I probably won't do it, but if it was within a few months, I will. But anyhow, guys, there you go. Shocker. Blame it on the friend. And then promise him the world. If he took her back, it'd be a huge mistake because he doesn't trust her, and he has no right to trust her. You can't have a relationship without trust, and there is no trust left. And he said, I'll always see that guy. And remember how horrible she was to him in part 1 of the story, which is gaslighting and making him feel like garbage. This guy already has major insecurities, right? He doesn't need to be back with someone that's going to do that again. It'll be a constant reminder of what happened, and she will lose respect for him. She may say she wouldn't, but she will. And the same shit will happen down the road. I don't care what she says. Best to move on. And he will be able to move on. He's already taken action, and I'm proud of him. He's hitting the gym. He's feeling better because of the gym. He's seeking therapy to help work shit out, work out the wiring, and up for promotion at work. He's moving into a new place to get out of the place that he's in. So he is taking action. This is really good. If anybody can turn shit around and be better from when he started, it's this guy. So I'm proud of him. He may never ever see this video, but I'm proud of him. If you see this video, bro, I'm proud of you. And we're all proud of you. And you can get through this. Don't take the bitch back. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And, guys, you come across a good story like me to share, by all means, email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just give me some time to get to it, and I will in the future. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.